So I've decided that I really don't have to be perfect before I can sit down and actually record a message. I've listened to so many inspiring messages where I never even actually seen the person that was talking. I think there's a reason for that. Sometimes I think we are so consumed with how the video appears that we forget about the message that we're supposed to be delivering. And what better backdrop can I have than the backdrop I have looking out my office window at home on this beautiful spring field that actually was just planted today. Pretty soon that'll be corn taller than me out there. But in the meantime, I have this as my backdrop, the beautiful green grass of spring, followed by the backdrop of the freshly planted cornfield and a beautiful horse ranch just beyond that. Yep, I don't know that you could ask for much more. But it's really not about what you're looking at. It's about what you're hearing and why you're here. Several years ago, my mom told me that I had the gift of gab. And she wasn't talking about me talking to her on the phone or sitting down over coffee with her in the latter years like we did. I mean, that's true. I was very gifted at gabbing with my mother, as just about anybody that knew her probably was, because she was just that kind of a person. But my mom always believed that my calling was to speak publicly and to touch lives. I toyed with the idea, and at one point in time, the very first tablet I ever had, I actually practiced talking and speaking and trying to take out all the ums and ems and all the things that you're not supposed to do when you're talking publicly. I joined Toastmasters for a little while. I believe that's what it's called. But the reality is that if God's got an anointing on your life and He's giving you something to do, it doesn't matter what man tells you should do. What matters is what God tells you should do. Doesn't matter what they say you should say or you shouldn't say, or how you should look, or what your backdrop should be. What matters is what God has put in your heart to share with somebody that He wants to hear it. I don't want to speak on my own behalf. I want to speak to a hurting world and be a tool in God's hands. I want to get out of my own way and get into His way, so that maybe, just maybe, I can contribute to making some small difference, some small dent in the world as it is today. There's so many people out there struggling right now. And it seems to me that a lot of really strong Christians are really coming under attack. I will tell you, my family, for one, has been one of those strong Christian-based, grounded families that has definitely experienced a lot. And I just keep reminding myself and them that the fiery furnace refines the gold and the diamonds. And I think that we are definitely being refined for a time to come. I don't know what God's entire purpose and plan is in anybody's life. Not even ours. Not even my own. But I do know that not one of us was a mistake. And not one of us was designed without purpose and intent. A lot of times we feel like we're just wandering aimlessly through this life with not a whole lot to give. Usually we're leaning in the direction of feeling a little sorry for ourselves, even if we paint it up and make it look like we're not. If we're really honest, most of us at some point in time go through our own personal pity parties and wonder when it's ever going to end and how we're going to get out of this hole that we're in, or whatever the case may be. A lot of us have a lot of different things going on and a lot of different reasons for getting down in the mouth about things, but it doesn't really matter what the reason is. Everybody's going through something. Even the people that look like their worlds are perfect and like there's not a hair out of place. Everybody has something. Everybody has some sort of trial, some sort of journey that they're on. And there's always going to be a difficult spot in the road, no matter what that journey is. If you can show me a journey that has never had a pothole in it, I'll be floored. And I bet you if I looked long enough and hard enough, I'd find the pothole. The question is what do we do? What do we do after we hit that pothole? How do we dig ourselves out of the hole? Well, I'd imagine some people that have sinkholes that they drive into probably can really relate to this. But I'm really not talking about literal holes. I'm talking about the pits and the trenches that we find ourselves in as we're journeying through life. So, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bleak it looks, no matter what you're going through, you have to remember that there is a purpose in all of it. And what Satan means for evil, God can and will use for good, if you so choose to allow him to. So today, in my first practice and attempt at recording a positive and inspiring message, that is my message. That there's hope, no matter how dark, no matter how bleak, no matter how bad things might seem, there is always hope. A lot of people think that my life is perfect. They look in and they see a glass house. But if they threw a rock, they'd realize it can crumble and break just like anybody else's. We all have our skeletons in the closet. We all have our fears. But the reality is if we don't face our fears and we don't carry on with God in the forefront, letting him fight those battles for us, the fears are gonna get us. We're gonna succumb to them. That's not the purpose. That's not the intent. So hold on tight. Strap in. Pull your boots on. Put your big girl pants on. Your big boy pants on. Whatever it is that you have to do. And be ready to fight the good fight. To stick out the journey. And to do whatever it is that you can do to contribute to the world. Each one of us can do something. Maybe today it's just holding a door open for someone. Maybe tomorrow it's buying somebody's coffee in line without even telling them who did it. Maybe next week it's buying somebody a bag of groceries. Maybe you don't have the money to buy a cup of coffee or a bag of groceries. But maybe you can go and help someone mow a lawn or clean a house. We all have something that we can give. And not one of us is too good or should be too pious to think that we are above going and helping somebody in need. I remember I went to help some ladies from a church that I was going to several years ago to help clean a house of another parishioner that hadn't been at church since I had been going there. She'd been too sick. And I'm not quite sure why I volunteered, because I was really new to the whole scene, but I did. And as I recall, when I got there, I ended up cleaning bathrooms, which, it's pretty thankless. And this particular bathroom was maybe more thankless than some others, because obviously the lady had been ill for some time, and the home had suffered some neglect as a result of it, no fault of her own. And as I was doing it, I suppose I probably had my moments questioning why I got myself into this. But when it was all said and done, I can't tell you how good it made me feel. How good it made me feel to do something for someone I didn't even know. I mean, there was absolutely no self-motivation to do this. I just did it out of the goodness of my heart, or the leading of the Holy Spirit. I don't know, but when it was all said and done, I was grateful that I had done it. There are times that I will go out of my way and wait for somebody who's coming up to a door just to hold the door open, just to bless them. And if somebody holds the door open for me, I verbally bless them. We live in a world and a society today that most people are in too big a hurry to care about the next person in line. So remember that the best way to help yourself out of your struggles is to reach out and help somebody up out of theirs. We can make a big difference in the world, and we can make a big difference in our own life by making a difference in other people's lives. And I got to tell you firsthand, I truly believe that God calls us to do this, loves it when we do it, and blesses us when we do it. Yet at the same time, we can't do it with the mindset that it's going to be like putting quarters in the slot machine. Okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and God is going to pay off. No, it doesn't work like that. We've got to do it with the pure heart and purest intent of not getting anything in return for it, but trusting and knowing that our Father it gives all good things. And as we bless others, undoubtedly He's bound to bless us. May not be the way we expect, may not even recognize it, because we take so many blessings for granted every day. And I'm just as guilty as the next person. And I am also aware that as I tell you these things, you're going to have any number of other people telling you it's all a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of hogwash. Don't listen to that. You can't do that. Do you have a dream? Do you have a passion that you've had since you were a little kid? Something that you really want to do, that you've always wanted to do? If you do, my guess is you probably have experienced the naysayers that tell you you can't do it. It's not practical. It's not logical. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough schooling. You don't have enough anything. But right now, right here, right this second, I don't have all that polish. Yes, I have written a book, and I do like words, and I do like to talk, but it's not because I went and got learned in a school setting, or I continued on and got degrees that people just would flock to me because of my brilliance. No, that's not it at all. But what it is a calling and a gift on my life. And the desires of our heart were put there by the Creator. So who's to tell me that I don't have a message? Who's to tell me that I can't speak and make a difference? Who's to tell me that someday people won't be calling me to come and speak before their groups? I will not accept that. Not anymore. There have been times in my life I have accepted it. There's been times people have told me I can't do something. And fortunately, just the nature of my stubborn personality, a lot of times I've proven them wrong. Not, again, with money and brilliance, but with persistence and faith. So, I, for one, am here to tell you that you should pursue the desires of your heart. If you have thought on what's pure and what's good and what's of God, and you know it aligns with His very creation of your soul and your being, then who is to tell you that you can't pursue it and you can't achieve it? You most certainly can. If I can, you can. So, please tune in again for my next message. Not sure what it'll be on. Maybe I'll share one of my stories, one of my successes that shouldn't have been a success, just to encourage. Maybe I'll share one of those testimonies. But no matter what it is, today, right here, right now, I want you to commit to yourself, to believe in yourself, and to follow your heart's desires, and to seek God in all that you do, to guide you, give you discernment, and give you wisdom and open doors, and lead you, prompt you, show you what He wants you to do. The next step is yours, and I believe in you. This is Sherry LaPerry, attainable, touchable, reachable, and real, reaching out to you today. God bless and have a great rest of your day.